The massive bioship slid through space like a shark through dark waters. Commander Zareth stood on the command deck, his scaled skin reflecting the dim red lights. 6 eyes blinked in sequence as he watched the small blue planet grow larger on the view screen. "Another world, another hunt," he said, running a clawed hand over the old scars that covered his chest. Each mark told the story of a conquered species, a devoured civilization. The Varthax had ruled the Andromeda galaxy for 10,000 years. They were the perfect predators, with bodies that could heal from almost any wound, poisonous spines that could kill with a touch, and minds that could share thoughts across vast distances. No species had ever truly challenged them. "Commander, we have detected primitive space vessels," reported Sub-Hunter Krell, her fangs clicking with excitement. "Shall we engage?" Zareth nodded. "Take one of their ships. Let us see what we're hunting this time." The Varthax attack vessel targeted a small research ship called the Armstrong. The human vessel exploded in seconds, too quickly to even send a distress call. Or so the Varthax thought. "Prepare a hunting party," Zareth ordered. "I want live specimens." 12 elite hunters boarded their dropships and headed for Earth's surface. They landed in a forest outside a city called Denver. The hunters moved silently through the trees, their bodies changing color to match their surroundings. "These creatures seem weak," said the lead hunter through the telepathic link. "Soft skin. No natural weapons. They will make easy prey." The hunters approached a military base at the edge of the forest. They expected the usual response: confusion, panic, easy killing. Instead, they found soldiers waiting for them, wearing strange helmets and carrying weapons that glowed with blue energy. "They knew we were coming," the lead hunter sent to Zareth. "Impossible." His thought was cut short as blue energy tore through his regenerative body. The other hunters attacked, but the humans worked together in perfect coordination. When the Varthax tried to use their telepathic attack, they found their minds unable to connect with the humans wearing the special helmets. Back on his ship, Zareth felt something he had never experienced before: the death screams of his elite hunters echoing through the telepathic network. One by one, their minds went silent. In her underground command center, Admiral Helena Chen watched the video feed of the dead alien predators. Scientists in protective suits were already collecting the bodies. "Send everything we have to all military bases worldwide," she ordered. "And get me the world's defense ministers on the line. This is just the beginning." She looked at the satellite image showing dozens more alien ships entering Earth orbit. "They think we're prey," she said quietly. "They have no idea what humans are capable of." High above Earth, Commander Zareth stared at the empty drop ship return pad. For the first time in his long life of hunting and killing across the stars, he felt something new stirring in his cold predator's heart: doubt. Admiral Helena Chen stood before a table where an alien body lay. Scientists in protective suits moved around it, taking samples and measurements. "What have we learned?" she asked Dr. Patel, the lead scientist. "They're unlike anything we've seen," Dr. Patel said, pointing to the alien's brain. "This organ lets them communicate mentally with others of their kind. And look at this tissue. It can regrow damaged parts within minutes." Admiral Chen frowned. "So they heal quickly and can coordinate attacks without speaking. Any weaknesses?" "Their telepathy seems disrupted by the neural dampening helmets we developed after analyzing the signals from the Armstrong's emergency beacon." Dr. Patel showed her a scan. "And while they heal fast, their bodies still respond to enough damage." In another room, military leaders from around the world gathered. Admiral Chen showed them the footage of the first battle. "They came here to hunt us," she said, "but they don't know that humans have been both predator and prey throughout our history. We know how to fight, how to hide, and most importantly, how to work together." Meanwhile, aboard the main Varthax ship, Commander Zareth circled a human prisoner. Dr. Marcus Reed sat in a clear cell, trying not to show fear. "How did your kind kill my hunters?" Zareth asked, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence. Dr. Reed remained silent. I can take the knowledge from your mind, Zareth threatened, pressing a clawed hand against the cell wall. Then why haven't you? Dr. Reed asked. Maybe your powers aren't working as well as you thought. Zareth hissed. Your species is physically weak. You have no natural weapons. How did you defeat the late hunters? We've been fighting each other for thousands of years, Dr. Reed answered. We got very good at it. Zareth returned to the command deck, where Sub-Hunter Krell waited. These humans are strange, Zareth said. They fight together despite not being from the same genetic line. They plan and coordinate in ways we've never seen prey do before. They are still just prey, Krell said, showing her fangs. We will adapt and overcome, as we always do. Zareth looked at the view screen showing Earth. Prepare the hunting parties. Target their major population centers. This time, we will not underestimate them. On Earth, military bases worldwide receive new weapons designed to fight the aliens. Soldiers put on neural dampening helmets that block the telepathic attacks. In her command center, Admiral Chen watched as alien ships positioned themselves over cities. They're coming, she said into her comlink. All units prepare for the assault. The first wave of Varthax hunters dropped into Beijing, Moscow, New York, and 30 other major cities. They expected panic and easy hunting. Instead, they found coordinated resistance everywhere they landed. In New York, Captain Sarah Rodriguez led her squad through the streets. When a Varthax hunter appeared, her soldiers fired special weapons that overwhelmed even the aliens' healing abilities. The hunter tried to send a telepathic attack, confused when it didn't work against the helmeted humans. Before it could adapt, 5 soldiers fired at once, tearing the creature apart faster than it could heal. On his ship, Zareth felt more death screams through the telepathic network. Something impossible was happening. The apex predators of the galaxy were losing. Captain Alejandro Vega looked at his small team of 6 soldiers. They stood before a captured Varthax shuttle, its organic hull pulsing slightly like it was breathing. Once we're inside the mothership, we'll have 30 minutes to plant the bombs and get out, he said, checking his neural dampening helmet. Remember, these creatures can read minds if you take your helmet off, even for a second. They boarded the alien shuttle. Lieutenant Kim, their best pilot, had spent days learning how to fly it. The controls were strange, more like touching living tissue than pushing buttons. Here we go, Kim said as the shuttle lifted off. Above them, one of the massive Varthax bioships hung in low orbit, its surface covered with what looked like veins and scales. Meanwhile, Admiral Chen sat in her command center, surrounded by screens showing military forces around the world. All units in position, reported General Santos, waiting for your order. We attack when Captain Vega's team completes their mission, Chen said. The resonance bombs should disrupt their telepathic network long enough for us to hit all their ground forces at once. Aboard the bioship, Captain Vega's team moved through corridors that seemed made of flesh and bone. They passed chambers with transparent walls containing countless alien creatures, some alive, some being dissected by Varthax scientists. My God, whispered Surgeon Tyus. These are species from other worlds. Food stock, said Lieutenant Kim, scanning one chamber with a small device. Some of these species are extinct now. The Varthax hunt them to death. They reached the central chamber where the ship's neural core pulsed. It was a massive brain-like structure floating in clear fluid. Captain Vega carefully placed the first resonance bomb beside it. 3 more to go, he said. Place them at the points we discussed. On the command deck, Commander Zareth suddenly tensed. Intruders, he hissed. I sense disruption. Impossible, said Sub-Hunter Krell. No prey has ever infiltrated a bioship. These are not like other prey, Zareth said. Send hunters to the neural core immediately. Captain Vega's team had just placed the final bomb when 6 Varthax hunters entered the chamber. The battle was fierce. 2 human soldiers fell, but the team managed to activate the bombs. 60 seconds, Vega shouted. Fall back to the shuttle. As they ran, the first bomb detonated. The effect was immediate, a wave of energy that disrupted the telepathic network throughout the ship. Varthak's hunters stumbled, clutching their heads in pain. In his cell, Dr. Reed felt the ship shudder. The force field holding him suddenly flickered off. Without hesitating, he ran into the corridor, following the sound of human voices. Dr. Reed. Captain Vega looked surprised as the scientist appeared. "Let's get you out of here." They reached the shuttle just as the other bombs exploded in sequence. As they escaped, they saw Varthaks throughout the ship collapsing, their mental connection broken. On Earth, Admiral Chen gave the order. "All units, attack now." Around the world, human forces launched a coordinated assault on Varthak's positions. Without their telepathic connection, the alien hunters couldn't coordinate. For the first time, they experienced true chaos in battle. Commander Zareth fell to his knees on the command deck, his mind filled with the pain and confusion of thousands of his kind. Through the view screen, he watched Earth forces destroying his hunters. For the first time in his life, Zareth felt fear. 3 months had passed since the Great Battle. The surviving Varthak ships had retreated to Mars, where they built a colony in the Red Planet's vast canyons. Earth had won the first major battles, but everyone knew the war was far from over. Dr. Marcus Reed looked through his microscope at a sample of Varthak's tissue. Since his escape from the alien ship, he had been working in a special laboratory beneath Geneva. "Amazing," he said to Dr. Patel. "Look at how the cells are changing." On the screen beside them, they could see the alien cells rapidly shifting their structure. "They're adapting to our weapons," Dr. Patel said. "Each time we hit them with something new, they evolve to resist it." Dr. Reed nodded. "And look at this DNA analysis. The Varthaks can actually absorb genetic material from species they consume. They literally become stronger by eating their enemies." In his office at United Earth Defense Headquarters, Admiral Chen studied the satellite images of Mars. The Varthaks had built structures that looked more like giant nests than buildings. "They're regrouping," said General Santos. "Our scouts report they're building new types of bioships." "How long until they attack again?" Chen asked. "Could be days, could be months. They're patient predators." On Mars, Commander Zareth stood on a ridge overlooking the colony. His body showed new scars that wouldn't fully heal, a reminder of the human attack. Beside him, Sub-Hunter Krell monitored a communications device they had captured from Earth. "Look at this," Krell said, showing him a screen. "The humans create stories about war. They imagine battles that never happened and share them for entertainment." Zareth tilted his head. "No species we've encountered does this. They prepare for war even when there is no war." "It makes no sense," Krell said. "Prey should fear fighting. These humans enjoy it." Zareth watched recordings of human battles throughout history. "They evolve as both prey and predator," he said finally. "They know what it's like to be hunted, so they became better hunters themselves." In the research chamber, Varthak scientists worked on a group of hunters. Using genetic material collected from humans, they'd modified the hunters' bodies. "The new hunters are ready," the lead scientist reported. "Their brains have been altered to resist the human neural dampening technology." Zareth placed a hand on one of the modified hunters. Through the telepathic link, he felt the creature's new strength. "Send them to Earth," he ordered. "Small groups at first. Test their defenses." Back on Earth, at a military base in Argentina, alarms suddenly blared. Soldiers ran to their positions as something crashed into the forest nearby. Captain Rodriguez led her team to investigate. They found a small Varthak ship and approached carefully, their neural dampening helmets activated. "Stay alert," she warned. "Remember your training." From the shadows, new Varthak's hunters watched. Unlike before, the human helmets didn't hurt their minds. They could still feel the telepathic connection. One hunter sent a thought to Mars. "We can see them. We can feel them. The adaptation works." On Mars, Zareth smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. "Now," he said, "the real hunt begins." General Ibrahim Hassan stood in the command deck of the UES Defender, Earth's first true warship. Through the viewport, the red surface of Mars grew larger. Behind his ship, 50 more vessels carried Earth's first interplanetary army. "All ships report ready," General said his second-in-command, Colonel Takahashi. "We'll reach Mars orbit in 20 minutes. Hassan nodded. "Send the message to all captains. No hesitation, no mercy. The Varthax would give us none." On Mars, alarms echoed through the Varthax colony. Commander Zareth moved quickly to the defense center, where sub-hunter Krell monitored the approaching human fleet. "They're attacking us," Krell hissed in surprise. "Prey doesn't attack predators in their den." "These humans don't behave like prey," Zareth said. "Prepare all hunters. Launch the bioships." The battle for Mars began in orbit. Human ships fired new weapons designed to target the specific biology of the Varthax vessels. The bioships fought back with living weapons that grew and adapted during the fight. General Hassan watched as 3 human ships were destroyed, but the Varthax lost 5 of their own. "Begin the landing," he ordered. "Target their main colony in Valles Marineris." Dropships descended to the Martian surface, carrying soldiers equipped with new weapons that disrupted Varthax cellular regeneration. The humans established a perimeter and began pushing toward the alien stronghold. The Varthax defenders were shocked by human tactics. When one area of their defense became strong, the humans would sacrifice soldiers to keep the Varthax focused there, while the main force attacked elsewhere. "They're willing to die to win," Zareth said as he watched the battle from a command center. "This makes no sense in nature. The strongest should survive." "Their strength is not in individuals," a scientist replied. "It's in how they work together." In the largest canyon on Mars, Colonel Takahashi led a special forces team toward the main Varthax breeding chambers. They faced fierce resistance, losing half their soldiers in the approach. "We won't all make it," Takahashi told the survivors, "but Earth will." They charged the final defenses, throwing specialized bombs that released chemicals designed to sterilize the breeding chambers. 3 more soldiers fell, but the bombs were planted. When they detonated, the Varthax telepathic network filled with screams as thousands of eggs and young hunters died at once. On the ridge above the colony, Zareth fought General Hassan in hand-to-hand combat. The human was no match for Varthax strength, but he fought with unexpected skill and determination. When Zareth's claws slashed across Hassan's chest, the general didn't retreat. Instead, he drove forward, pushing a special blade deep into the commander's side. Zareth felt something he'd never experienced. His body wasn't healing properly. The blade carried a toxin that blocked his regenerative abilities. For the first time in his long life, Zareth retreated from battle. He and his surviving forces escaped to Phobos, one of Mars' small moons, leaving the humans to claim their colony. In the abandoned command center, General Hassan, wounded but alive, found a strange device. When his scientists examined it, they made a chilling discovery. "It's a distress beacon," the chief scientist explained. "They've called for help." Hassan looked at the long-range scanners showing the space between galaxies. Something massive was moving toward them. "How many more of them are out there?" he whispered. Admiral Chen stood in Earth's orbital defense station as a strange ship approached. Unlike the organic vessels of the Varthax, this ship was made of a crystalline material that shimmered with blue-green light. "It's definitely not Varthax," said Captain Vega, who now commanded the station. "The design is completely different." "Open a channel," ordered Chen. "Let's see who our new visitors are." The main screen lit up, showing a creature that looked like a cross between an insect and a lizard. It had 4 arms, compound eyes, and mandibles that clicked as it spoke. "I am Ambassador X Tykel of the Krell Collective," the alien said in surprisingly good English. "We have been tracking the Varthax fleet for many cycles. We are surprised to find others who have fought them and lived." 2 days later, Admiral Chen met with ex-Tycho in a specially prepared chamber in Geneva. The insectoid alien's exoskeleton gleamed under the lights. "The Varthax nearly destroyed our civilization 300 years ago," ex-Tycho explained. "We've been following them ever since, looking for a way to stop them." "Why are you helping us?" General Hassan asked, his chest still bandaged from his fight with Zareth. Ex-Tycho's mandibles clicked. "The Varthax main armada approaches. You have no chance against it alone. We offer technology to help you fight." Dr. Reed studied the technical data the Krull provided. "Their weapons could help us target the Varthax biology more effectively," he told Chen privately. "But something feels wrong." While touring the Krull ship, Dr. Reed found historical records that showed the Krell had destroyed several worlds with mammalian life similar to Earth's. "They consider all mammals potentially dangerous," he told Admiral Chen later. "They might be using us to fight the Varthax, planning to eliminate us afterward." Nevertheless, human scientists began working with Krell experts to develop new weapons. Dr. Reed secretly modified the designs to ensure they couldn't be used against Earth life. On Phobos, Zareth's wound was healing slowly. The human toxin still affected his regenerative abilities. In a secure chamber, he personally interrogated 5 human prisoners captured during the Mars battle. Rather than treating them as food, as Varthax tradition demanded, Zareth found himself curious about them. He asked questions about human history, about how a physically weak species had survived and thrived. "We've always had to fight things stronger than us," explained one prisoner, a surgeon named Lakshmi. "We learned to work together, to use our minds instead of just our bodies." Sub-Hunter Krell discovered Zareth talking to the prisoners and was shocked. "You speak with prey as equals. This violates our most sacred laws. We must understand them to defeat them," Zareth replied. But in truth, something was changing inside him. The more he spoke with the humans, the more he felt strange new thoughts forming. On Earth, Admiral Chen watched as Krell ships positioned themselves in orbit. They were allies, but she had placed human ships nearby, just in case. "The Varthax main armada will arrive in 3 months," ex-Tycho announced during a strategy meeting. "We must prepare." As the meeting ended, Chen received an urgent message from a scout ship near Jupiter. "Unknown object detected beyond Pluto's orbit, too large to be natural. Moving toward inner solar system." The final stage of the war for Earth was about to begin. Captain Vega's stealth ship, the Shadow, moved silently through the outer solar system. Using technology shared by the Krell, it remained invisible to all sensors. Their mission: investigate the massive object detected near Pluto. "I'm picking up strange energy readings," said Lieutenant Kim, studying her screens. "It's definitely a Varthax bioship, but much larger than any we've seen before." "Take us closer," Vega ordered. "But keep the stealth systems at maximum." As they approached, the true size of the object became clear. It wasn't just a bioship. It was a massive space station made of dozens of bioships connected together. "How do we get inside?" asked Surgeon Dias. "The Krell data shows a maintenance entrance here," Kim said, pointing to a spot where 2 bioships joined. "It should be large enough for our shuttle." Inside the massive structure, Vega's team moved carefully through corridors that pulsed with life. They collected samples and scanned everything they passed. In a large chamber, they found something unexpected: a museum of sorts with displays showing the history of the Varthax. The images showed another species, tall and gray with large heads, creating the first Varthax in laboratories. "They weren't natural predators," Dias whispered. "They were weapons created by another civilization." In another section, they found records showing how the Varthax had eventually turned on their creators, hunting them to extinction before spreading across their galaxy. "They're not just predators," Vega realized. "They're artificial predators, designed to clear galaxies for someone else to colonize later." On Phobos, Zareth spent more time with the human prisoners. Their stories of human history fascinated him: how humans had survived ice ages, predators, and their own destructive wars. Something strange was happening to Zareth. His wound from General Hassan had healed, but other changes were occurring. He found himself feeling new emotions when the prisoners spoke of their families, their hopes, their fears. The Varthak scientist, Mektar, examined Zareth privately. "Your biology is changing," Mektar said, showing him a scan. "Prolonged exposure to humans has altered your brain chemistry. You're developing empathy." "What is happening to me?" Zareth asked. "You're being contaminated by prey thinking," Mektar replied. "This is forbidden. You must be cleansed or destroyed." That night, Krell led a group of hunters to kill Zareth, seeing him as corrupted and dangerous. But Zareth, now thinking in new ways, had anticipated this. He fought back, killing Krell and several others. With no choice left, Zareth freed the human prisoners and fled with them and a small group of Varthaks who had also begun to change. They stole a bioship and set course for Earth. "Why are you helping us?" Sergeant Lakshmi asked Zareth. "Because I've seen inside your minds," he replied. "And for the first time, I understand what it means to be more than just a predator." As their ship approached Earth, they received a warning message from Admiral Chen. "The Varthak's main armada has been detected entering the solar system. 50 bioships, each larger than a city. They'll reach Earth in 3 days." Zareth looked at the humans. "I must warn your leaders. The armada is just the beginning. The ones who created us, they're coming to reclaim their weapons." The sky above Earth filled with massive shapes as the Varthak's armada arrived. 50 enormous bioships, each 10 times larger than the ones humans had fought before, moved into position around the planet. Admiral Chen stood in the Global Defense Command Center, surrounded by screens showing the approaching enemy. "All planetary defenses online," reported General Hassan. "Krell ships are moving to intercept." "And our fleet?" Chen asked. 200 ships, ready, Admiral. But the Varthaks outnumber us in firepower 20-1. The first attacks came without warning. Massive biological weapons fired from the Varthak ships, destroying 3 orbital defense stations in seconds. Cities around the world reported drop ships landing, releasing thousands of hunters. "Fight in your sectors," Chen ordered over the global command channel. "We've beaten them before. We'll do it again." But this time was different. The new Varthak's hunters were stronger, faster, and immune to many human weapons. They coordinated perfectly through their telepathic network. In orbit, human and Krell ships fought desperately against the bioships. The Krell vessels used advanced energy weapons that cut through the Varthak's hulls. But there were too many enemies. "We're losing," X-Tychel told Chen over the command link. "My ships are withdrawing to regroup." "Withdrawing?" Chen asked. "To where?" "Beyond your system. Earth is lost. We must save ourselves to fight another day." Before Chen could respond, the Krell ships broke formation and accelerated away from Earth, leaving the human fleet alone against the armada. Just as hope seemed lost, a single Varthak ship approached Earth on an unusual course. Defense systems targeted it, but Chen ordered them to hold fire when she received a strange message. "Admiral Chen, this is Sergeant Lakshmi. We have Commander Zareth with us. He wants to help." Hours later, in the underground command center, Zareth stood before Earth's military leaders. Some wanted to kill him immediately, but the human prisoners he had saved vouched for him. "The Armada shares a central nervous system," Zareth explained, showing diagrams on a screen. "All 50 ships are connected to the flagship by a telepathic network. If we can destroy the neural core in a specific sequence, it will cause a cascading failure." "Why should we trust you?" General Hassan asked, his hand resting on his weapon. "Because I've changed," Zareth said simply. "Your species has shown me that being a predator isn't enough. There must be more to existence than just hunting and killing." Captain Vega, who had just returned from his mission to the outer system, supported Zareth's claim. "The Varthaks were created as weapons. They've been used, but they can change." Zareth is proof of that. As they spoke, the screen showed more cities falling under attack. The Varthaks were overwhelming Earth's defenses everywhere. "We have no choice," Chen said finally. "What's your plan?" "A strike team must infiltrate the flagship and destroy the neural core," Zareth explained. "I will lead it. My presence will hide your soldiers from detection." "It's a suicide mission," Captain Vega said. "The flagship is at the center of their formation." "Then I'll go with you," said Chen, to everyone's surprise. "If Earth falls, I fall with it." As they prepared for the mission, the skies over Earth burned with the largest battle humanity had ever faced. Dr. Reed worked frantically in his laboratory while the battle raged above. For weeks, he had been studying tissue samples from Zareth and the other changed Varthaks. "Look at this," he told Dr. Patel, pointing to a brain scan. "These neural patterns weren't present in any of our previous Varthak subjects." "What does it mean?" Patel asked. "The Varthaks aren't just adapting to our weapons," Reed explained. "Some are adapting to our culture, our way of thinking. The neural dampeners we created don't just block their telepathy. They've been subtly altering their biology through prolonged contact." Reed picked up his communicator. "Admiral Chen, I need to speak with you before your mission. I've made a critical discovery." Meanwhile, the strike team prepared for their assault on the flagship. 12 humans in specialized combat suits and 6 of Zareth's changed Varthaks loaded onto a small stealth ship. "Once we're inside," Zareth explained, "we'll have to fight our way to the central chamber. That's where the first hunter lives." "The first hunter?" Captain Vega asked. "The oldest living Varthaks," Zareth said, "the original from which all others were created. It remains connected to all bioships, controlling the entire Armada." Admiral Chen arrived with Dr. Reed, who quickly explained his discovery. "Commander Zareth and his followers aren't accidents. The neural dampeners we created are actually triggering an evolutionary response in the Varthaks, making them more like us." "How does this help us?" Chen asked. "If we can amplify this effect at the source, the first hunter, we might be able to change all of them at once," Reed said, handing her a small device. "This contains a modified version of our neural technology. Plant it directly on the first hunter's brain tissue." Their ship launched into the chaos of battle. Human and remaining Krell ships fought desperately, creating a brief opening for the small vessel to slip through enemy lines. They docked with the massive flagship, using Zareth's genetic signature to bypass security measures. Inside, they fought through waves of hunters. 3 humans and 2 of Zareth's followers fell in fierce battles through the pulsing corridors. Finally, they'd reached the central chamber, a massive space filled with clear fluid where a creature the size of a blue whale floated. The first hunter had 6 eyes like all Varthaks, but its body was ancient and covered with the markings of countless species it had consumed. "There," Zareth pointed. "The neural connection point is at the base of its skull." As they approached, the first hunter's eyes opened. A telepathic wave knocked everyone to their knees as the ancient creature invaded their minds. "You bring prey to my chamber." The first hunter's thoughts boomed in their heads. "You have become corrupted, Zareth." Captain Vega fought through the mental pressure, moving toward the creature with the device Reed had given them. The first hunter saw his intent and lashed out with a massive tentacle, sending him flying across the chamber. Admiral Chen grabbed the fallen device and pressed forward. "For Earth," she said through gritted teeth, fighting the telepathic assault. When she reached the first hunter, she pressed the device against its brain stem. The ancient creature convulsed, its 6 eyes widening as it suddenly connected not just to Varthak's minds, but to human thoughts and emotions as well. A psychic shockwave rippled outward, temporarily paralyzing all Varthaks throughout the solar system. "Now," Chen shouted into her communicator, "all ships, fire." 1 year after the Great Battle, Admiral Chen stood on the observation deck of the new Earth flagship, the Unity. Below, the blue planet showed signs of recovery, though many cities still lay in ruins. "The rebuilding is going well," said General Hassan, who now walked with a slight limp from his wounds. "Another year, and you might not know we fought a war." Chen nodded. "And the Varthax colonies?" "Peaceful, as promised. Zareth has kept his word." After the battle, something remarkable had happened. The device Dr. Reed created had done more than just temporarily stun the first hunter. In the moment before death, the ancient creature had experienced the full range of human emotions and thoughts. Its final act was to transmit a new directive to all Varthax, not just to adapt biologically, but culturally. The surviving Varthax, their connection to the Armada severed, had undergone a transformation. While still physically formidable predators, they had gained something new: empathy, cooperation, and the ability to see other species as more than just prey. In the meeting chamber, Zareth, now the leader of the changed Varthax, spoke with human leaders. His appearance had altered slightly. His 6 eyes showed more expression, and his posture was less hunched and predatory. "My people are learning," he told Chen. "It's not easy to change thousands of years of instinct, but we're trying." "And what about the creators?" Chen asked. "The ones who made your species as weapons?" "Our long-range sensors show they're still coming," Zareth replied. "They'll arrive within 5 years, expecting to find galaxies cleared for their colonization." Dr. Reed joined them, bringing new data. "We've managed to incorporate some Varthax biological technology into our ships," he said. "The living metal allows for self-repair and adaptation." Outside the window, they could see construction on a massive defense platform. Human and Varthax engineers worked side by side, combining their technologies. "The Krell have withdrawn to their home systems," Hassan reported. "They don't trust our alliance with the Varthax." "Their loss," Chen said. "They never understood what makes humans different." Later, Zareth and Dr. Reed stood alone on the observation deck, watching Earth turn below them. "I've been studying your history," Zareth said. "Humans are unique among all species we've encountered. You evolved as both predator and prey. You know how to hunt, but also how to feel for those who are hunted." "It makes us complicated," Reed admitted. "It makes you stronger," Zareth corrected. "Pure predators like we're ultimately limited. We can only destroy. Your kind can build, create, imagine." A young officer approached them. "Admiral Chen requests your presence in the command center. Our deep space probe has detected something near the edge of the galaxy." On the main screen, they saw enormous ships, unlike anything they'd encountered before. They were clearly artificial, geometric, and perfect in design. "The creators," Zareth whispered. "They've come to check on their weapons." Chen looked at the gathered humans and Varthax in the command center. "Then let's show them something they never expected. Their weapons and their prey standing together." Zareth nodded, his 6 eyes focused on the approaching ships. "They created the perfect predators," he said, "but they never imagined meeting humans." Earth's new fleet began to form up, ready to face whatever came next.